My girlfriend dumped me at dinner and called me ugly, so I exposed what she lied about at work. My girlfriend Danielle called me ugly in front of her friends and dumped me right at our table. She stood up and said loud enough for the whole place to hear, "A guy like you should be grateful I even dated you." Her friends laughed under their breath and I just sat there, stunned. I didn't yell, I didn't beg, I took a slow breath and nodded like, okay. The whole time, the ring box in my jacket pocket felt like a brick because I was supposed to propose after dessert. I'd spent months saving from my tech job, picking the ring, even asking her best friend what style she liked. Then Danielle grabbed her purse and walked out, leaving me with the $200 bill and an empty chair. I sat there for a second, listening to the restaurant noise, and I realized she thought she was untouchable. That started earlier that week when her marketing company had a total system crash. Their servers went down, files got scrambled, and everyone panicked because they had a huge client presentation the next morning. Danielle called me crying and said, "Please, you're the only person I know who can fix this." I should have told her to call IT, but I cared about her, so I said yes. I went home, opened my laptop, and spent the next 14 hours fixing their mess from my couch. I got them back into their accounts, pulled clean backups, rebuilt the setup, and tightened security so it wouldn't happen again. Danielle fell asleep during the call and didn't even see most of it. By morning, the system was stable, their files were back, and her boss Edward was telling everyone, "Whoever saved us just saved the company." Danielle told me Edward promised a big promotion and raise for the person who handled it, and I just said I was glad she wasn't in trouble. Edward told the office they hired an expensive consultant because I asked him to keep my name out of it. I didn't want Danielle's coworkers treating me like some hero, and I didn't want her boss thinking she needed her boyfriend to save her. But Danielle took that secret and flipped it. She started telling people she managed the whole recovery. She used tech words she didn't understand and acted like she'd been up all night saving everyone. When I picked her up for dinner, she was still riding that attention, checking her phone every few minutes. In the car, she didn't ask about my day, just talked about her future title like it was already hers. Her friends were already there, dressed up and loud, and Danielle introduced me like I was nothing. One of them asked what I did, and Danielle cut in, "Oh, he's just in tech stuff," like it didn't matter. They talked about her crisis, and Danielle smiled while she took the credit. One friend said, "So you're basically the reason they didn't lose the client?" And Danielle said, "I just handle things." I stayed quiet because I didn't want to expose her there, and I kept thinking about the ring and how this was supposed to be our night. Then Danielle looked at me, smirked, and said, "It's kind of sad. I'm moving up, and you're still you." Her friends leaned in. She tapped my chest and said, "He doesn't even get what I do. He's lucky I gave him a chance." That's when she hit me with the ugly line and walked out like she'd won. So I pulled out my phone, not the ring. My hands were steady, but my stomach was tight. I opened my email, typed Edward's name, and wrote one message. "Hey Edward, clearing something up. Danielle didn't do the recovery last week. I fixed it as a favor to her, and I'm attaching my access logs and scripts so credit goes to the right place." I hit send, attached the screenshots, and set the phone face down on the table. The waiter came back, saw I was alone, and gave me this awkward smile. I paid the bill, left a normal tip, and walked out into the night air without looking back. About 2 hours later, my phone started buzzing non-stop. Danielle called, then texted, then called again, over and over. "Please answer. I can explain. What did you tell Edward? My boss wants to talk to you." I didn't reply. Then Edward called me. He sounded tired and angry and asked if I really did all the work myself. I told him yes, and he asked 2 quick questions only the person who fixed it would know. When I answered, he said, "Okay, thank you for being honest." The next call was Danielle, crying so hard I could barely understand her. She said, "They're in a meeting. They're saying I lied. Please, just tell them we work together." I said, "We didn't," and I hung up. A few minutes later, she texted, "Security is walking me out. Please." I stared at the message, felt the ring box in my pocket again, and then I turned my phone off and kept walking.